All right, what's up? What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Hope y'all are doing good. I'm uh, actually periscoping, and I am live Facebooking, live video stream on Facebook. So I'm talking to two cameras at the same time. I hope y'all are doing good. Um, so here's the deal. Yep, this is gonna be a real one. I'm gonna hit y'all with these five things real quick. And I think I have. How do I? I'm trying to remember. How do I? Oh, I see now. So y'all may have to have. Y'all can share this on Periscope. You can share it on Twitter. You can share it on Facebook, and you can share it on Periscope. And then if anybody is watching on Facebook, I think you can share this on Facebook if you're watching this on Facebook. But anyways, let me give you a quick context, and then I'm going to give you the five things that I want to tell you real quick. Five things for anybody that's applying for jobs at churches. First thing is that lots of people think that because it's the church, we can settle for less, right? And there's nothing further than the truth. There's nothing further from the truth than that. The church actually has to have a higher standard because we're held to a higher standard. There's a higher level of accountability. We are in the business of souls. And while we are in the business of souls, we also have to take care of the business that we're called to take care of. Number two, people think that all that there is for church work is what happens on Sunday. And there is so much more. There is so much more in church work than just what happens on Sunday. As I was saying earlier today on Periscope, and I'll just give you quick context because I want to give you all these 5 points and then get off of here because we're actually getting ready for a run through for our service for tonight. And that is just this week. Today is Wednesday, but just this week, I have dealt with everything from workman's comp issues, insurance issues, facilities issues with regards to cleaning and the kinds of products we should use, what's environmental, OSHA rules and laws and all that stuff. I've dealt with the IRS and tax issues. I have dealt with technology, stats on our engagement online. I've dealt with discipleship. I've dealt with leadership development and pipeline. I've dealt with staffing issues, HR issues. We're doing in the middle of a search right now. So that's just a number of things that I've dealt with just this week alone, and we're just 2 days into this week. And so I give you context to say that people think that ministry is just the preaching or just what happens on Sunday. And it's so much more than that. It's so much more than that. And so executive pastor. And so what I've done is I want to give y'all 5 things, because those of you that are watching this, you may be working at a church, maybe at some point trying to get applying for a church. At points, you may know other people who want to apply and work at churches. And so here's 5 things that I want to give you real quick. Can you send me a job description? A job description of what, overseer? Love you, man. He's in California. All right, so here's 5 things, real quick. 5 things that I want to give y'all that will help you when it comes to working in ministry, and for those that may be applying at some point. Number 1 is, does it make sense for you to apply for the job? Does it make sense for you to apply for the job? I'm not going to sugarcoat it, right? I'm just going to give it to y'all, and then y'all can take it for what it's worth. Underneath that idea of does it make sense for you to apply for the job, if you don't have the experience, the character, or the capacity to handle what it means to work for a church, don't apply for the job, okay? And here's one of the things that I want to give y'all real quick, and people underestimate this. When you apply, hey, what's up? When you apply to work in ministry, work full-time at a church, there's a bullseye from a spiritual standpoint that gets put on your back. And so if you're not prepared from a mental and emotional place, if you're not prepared financially, if you're not prepared relationally, whether you're single or married, if you're not prepared in terms of time and sacrifice and all of that, it's not just the work, it's also the prep work that goes into this. So 5 things, for those of y'all that are joining in, I'm giving you 5 things to consider when you're applying for a job in ministry. And I just gave 2 disclaimers as a part of this, so you'll have to go watch the rebroadcast of this. So the first thing is, does it make sense for you to apply? Number 2, anticipate the questions. Anticipate the questions. So if you got gaps in your resume, if you got gaps in your employment, if there's 4 or 5 jobs that you had and you only worked at each one of them for 6 months, why was there so much transition? Anticipate those questions and don't get mad when you get asked those questions. Don't get mad, because here's the thing: when you work in church, working in church is one of the only places where you can bring your full selves to work. And it is not against the law. It's not against federal, state, or local law for churches to ask you questions that corporate places can't ask you. We can ask you about your age. We can ask you about your family. We can ask you about your kids. We can ask you about your sexual orientation. We can ask you about your past, your all of that. That's all legal in the space of working for ministry, because it's a part of the work that we do. And so we don't need to hire somebody that fundamentally disagrees or has a lifestyle or has things that disagree with the tenets of that local church. And then don't get mad if that church doesn't hire you because you disagree theologically with something they have, because it doesn't make sense. Why are you going to try to change that church if that's what they believe? No, don't do that. So number 1, does it make sense for you to apply? Number 2, anticipate the questions. Now, number 3, what does your social media look like? Okay? And trust me when I tell you, before can the church discriminate based on sexual preference? It's not discrimination. If you don't agree with the tenets of that church, the church doesn't have to hire you, and that's not discrimination. All right, now, before you get a phone call, a response on email, an interview, trust me when I tell you that there are more than one set of eyes that will be digging into your online profile. Now, if you don't have one at all, that says a whole lot, right? It's 2016. You need to be on some sort of social media if you're trying to apply to churches. But then number 2, if there's no consistency, or if it's sketchy, or if it's like, what's the impression? What's the impression that I'm gonna get when I see this? You need to tell people that that are trying to apply to jobs, clean up your social media. If you're still struggling and working through some stuff, don't put it online, right? Now, it's going to come out. It's going to come out. It's going to come out. But at the end of the day, you need to be professional. It's amazing. We're literally in the middle of a search right now, worship pastor search. And I mean, I literally have people submitting, I'm trying to be sensitive to how I say this, very unprofessional social media emails or screen names or profile names, whatever you want to call them, for a ministry job. If your screen name is Baby Got Back, twitter.com/Baby Got Back, and we trying to hire you for discipleship pastor, are we trying to hire you for worship leader? Or are we trying to hire you for a small group worship? You just got nixed. You just got nixed, right? And that's not, don't get mad at the church because your Twitter is twitter.com/Baby Got Back. No, that don't work. That's not professional. That's not professional. Y'all hear me? Okay, so number 1, does it make sense for you to apply? Do you have the capacity? Number 2, anticipate the questions. Work through your own history. Look through your resume and see what kinds of questions. Matter of fact, y'all, listen. I'm going to put myself out there. Send me an email. You can email me. Go to my website, submit an online form. And if you need somebody to offer critical feedback, now I'm going to charge you a little bit, right? It's worth my time. But if you need somebody to give a critical look at your resume and your profile and your credentials package, send it to me and I will red ink it and be as objective with it as I need to be. Okay. So number 1, Does it make sense for you to apply? Do you have the capacity? Number two, anticipate the questions. Where are the gaps? What are the questions that are going to come up? Number three, check your social media, clean your house. Number four, okay? Now, the Bible says in Daniel chapter 6, I think it's verse 3, that Daniel had an excellent spirit about him. He had an excellent spirit about him. And so with that excellent spirit, what you want to do is you want to make sure that any documentation or videos or letters or cover letters or theological statements that you write, whatever you write and put together, please, please, for the love of God, have somebody proof it. You don't proof it by yourself. Have somebody else look at it and edit it. If I'm gonna say it this way, your stuff on paper represents your brand. Your stuff on paper represents your brand. So if me as an employer, if I'm getting an email with your stuff being submitted and I see too many errors, I'm saying that you don't have enough value in the work that you do and that represents even your name, that why would I let you come on board with us and then make us look bad? Because you're making yourself look bad. So if you're making yourself look bad, then I'm not going to let you let us look bad. Am I making sense? Okay, so work on your formats. Don't submit something in a Word format, or don't submit something. I had somebody submit something in a Microsoft Publisher file. Who has Microsoft Publisher? So me getting the email as a potential employer, I'm not even going to take the time to try to download Microsoft Publisher and then try to figure out, no, PDF it. And if you need to go buy the software, then go make that investment in yourself. But don't send somebody stuff and then, you sending something in a Pages document, or you sending something, no, send it, PDF it, so that no matter what kind of computer or format they're looking at it, you don't know if people are looking at it on their mobile devices or their iPads or their tablets, their Samsung tablets. You don't know if they're looking at it from their computer. You don't know if they have Microsoft or Apple. So send it in the PDF. Make it easy. Right? Make it easy and make it professional. But most of all, guys, make it proof it. Now, here's another thing that's really big, right? From an excellent standpoint, how are you going to apply for a job and then your contact information is wrong? So I pick up the phone to call somebody, and that's never been their phone number. The person answered the phone and said, I don't know why you have this phone number. That's never been. So either you didn't proof the number, right? Or you don't have one. The point is, it's not excellent. You don't want the job, right? You don't want the job. So number one, right. Number one, does it make sense for you to apply for the job? Do you have the capacity? Does it make sense? Do you have the credentials, the character, the competency? Can you fit with the culture, all of that stuff? Number two, anticipate the questions, right? What are the questions that they're going to ask? Number three, work on your social media. How do you look online? This is your personal brand. Number four, work on your formats and making sure that things are edited and proofed and all of that stuff. And then here's the fifth one. Here's the fifth one. When you have to submit samples of your work, when you have to submit portfolios of your work, when you have to submit copies, or so if you're submitting for a teaching pastor role, or you're submitting for a worship pastor role, right? You need to submit copies of you teaching, right? Videos of you teaching, samples of your outlines, or if you're leading worship, you need to submit videos of your worship, right? If you are trying to apply to be a kids pastor, right, fitting into the culture is huge, absolutely. If you're applying for a kids leader role or a youth ministry role, flyers and things of that nature that speak to you. So a total portfolio. Now, here's where I'm going with this, and here's number five, right? I've already given y'all the fourth ones. For those of y'all that are coming in late, whether you're on Periscope here or whether you're watching me on Facebook Live, you'll have to go back and watch the rebroadcast because I'm getting ready to get off because I got to go to church. Now, number five, huge. Please only submit your best work. Please only submit your best work, because here's the thing: if I look at your profile, your submission, And then I respond to you and I say, thank you, but no thanks. This is not the kind of fit that we think will be there. And then you reply back, and can you give me more specific? Well, based on the portfolio, the product, the videos that you submitted, this doesn't really align with our culture. And then you respond and say something like, well, I just kind of threw that video together. You just kind of threw that video together. What does that say to me in terms of the excellent spirit that you're supposed to have? It's not my fault that you just took a quick whim and submitted a video. No, scrub your stuff, take a moment, find a videographer, somebody that you can pay $150, $200, $300 or whatever, and ask for feedback. Don't be so prideful and arrogant that you feel like your stuff is the best stuff. Because here's the thing, when you submit your information to be apply for a job, right now, in the past 3 weeks, I've gone through over 100 resumes, easily. Now, think about this for a moment. If I sit here and I go through 100 resumes, y'all gotta know that just at quick glance, there are some that go into the yes file, the maybe file, and the no file, without even me reading deep into it, just on presentation alone. And so, again, those are the 5 things. If you didn't get all of them, go watch all the videos. I don't have time to repeat it all, but I'll end with this. One of my, don't cut yourself short of being better by not asking for feedback. Absolutely. One of my favorite episodes of The Cosby Show was when Vanessa was off in college and she came back, and her fiance, Dabness, some of y'all will remember this, Dabness, and Dabness, started complaining to Cliff and Claire that, y'all don't like me, or, y'all just met me. And Cliff responded, I'm going to cut it quick. Cliff responded and said, it's not that I don't like you. And so he had Theo to bring a trash can top. And asked Dabness, what kind of steak you like? And he told him what kind of steak you like. So how do you like it? With onions and peppers and the seasoning, cooked like this and da-da-da-da. And then he says, now, if I did all that, it's your favorite steak, it's your favorite meal and all that, what kind of size do you want? Went through all that. He said, now, if I take that favorite meal and I put it on top of a trash can top and present it to you, will you eat it? He said, no, because it's not presented right. And so then he was saying, Vanessa didn't present you right? Vanessa didn't present you right and all of that. My point is, you can be an amazing person with great skill and great ability, but if you're not presented right, if it don't look right, if it's not excellent, if it's not been proved and checked and gone through, if it don't make sense, don't apply. You're wasting your time, watch this, and you are disrespecting God by submitting information and wasting the time and attention and resources of the people who work for God. So that's my five things. You coming in late, go watch the rebroadcast. I got to go to prayer. I got to go to prayer, and I got to go to church. We're getting ready to have prayer, walkthrough, and service tonight. So love y'all. Hope this made sense. Share this with other people. I know that there's other people that are applying to jobs and ministries, and so hopefully this will be a blessing to y'all. I love y'all. It's said in love. I'm just trying to help some people, all right? So I'll check y'all a little bit later, all right? Peace. Have a good night, everybody.